share my screen. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Okay, hope it is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let me start this. Okay, so hello everyone, a very warm welcome to everyone, and thanks for maintaining your times. Okay, so this is our first, um, very first, I will say, the virtual meetup, which is our this MuleSoft beginner groups, which has I think recently created, and I think we are the member of the four at this moment. Myself and along with this Indres, Rahul, and Nitin. Okay, so we will go through like intro of each of us. We are going to present. Okay, before starting this, so today we are going to discuss about this bulk API. Okay, so mostly we will try to see like what are the disadvantages, the key point consideration, and the differences between a standards and bulk API. Along with this bulk API has also the two versions, V1 and V2. Okay, so all these things we are going to discuss theoretically along with the demo. Okay, and the purpose of before to start this, I wanted to give this safe harbor statement. Okay, both the speaker and host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for the learning purpose only. Organizer presenter don't hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirement. This presentation is not meant for the any promotional activities. Okay, and the housekeeping means the recording of these meetups, the questions, everything will be recorded, and after this meetup we are going to share with you all this. So this is what the agenda we have briefly described, so that we are going to see. Okay, and if I'm going to ask this tell about this organizer, so myself Rajiv. Okay, I'm the speaker at for this meetups. Okay, and most of the folks are aware about. Okay, so I just wanted to welcome Nitin, Indres, or Rahul. So guys, floor for you. So Nitin, can you just start briefing yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Rajiv. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Hi everyone, my name is Nitin Pathak and I work in ROS as a senior developer. I have more than 5 years of experience in integration space. And yeah, welcome all of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I can pass to Indres.
Yeah, hi all. My name is Indresh Gupta and I'm working as an architect in MuleSoft. And I have overall experience of 9 years in integration domain. And I started my career with web methods and currently from past 4 years I'm working in MuleSoft. Yeah, I pass on to Rahul.
Okay, hi. So, first of all, welcome all of you for joining this first session of our MuleSoft Business Group. So, as far as mine concerned, I work as a senior MuleSoft consultant in K2 Partnering Solution. I have around 7+ years of experience in integration domain. And yeah, please feel free to drop your questions regarding this session in Q&A. And along with me, Nitin and Indresh will help with those questions. Today we will work as moderators and Rajiv as our speaker for this session. Yeah, happy to welcome all of you. Yeah, Rajiv, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Rahul. Okay, and this is little brief about myself. Okay, so you guys can follow me on the LinkedIn, my Medium blogs, and the YouTube channels. Okay, so let me quickly move into this hour. Okay, this agenda. Okay, so we have like seen that APIs. Okay, now if we start the integrations or without integration domain, I think at the time like when we are working for this SOAP API was there. Okay, then slowly this plain CRUD operation by using the legacy REST came into pictures. Okay, now we are in this era where we have the different flavor of the REST API. Okay, and few are called like the standards API. In the few ecosystems, they have enhanced the REST API in such a ways like which is going to handle this like the paginations, the chunking, okay, and you can say the as a like asynchronous processing. So these kind of things they have put, okay, and in that API, if we are talking about into the Salesforce ecosystems, that they put the name on the bulk API. Okay, so let's see first our this what is the difference or what are the our understanding between standards and bulk APIs. Okay, hope this slide is perfectly visible to everyone. Okay, or do I need to mode into the presentation mode? Is this fine? This one is fine.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so now let's see what is the this standard versus bulk API. Okay, so mostly we have seen like wherever the synchronous communication is required, mostly into the real-time systems. Okay, we have seen that a standard API has been used. Okay, where the traffic over this standard API, okay, is very less. Okay, like we have used the like the a small uh, volume of the data, okay, and mostly we have seen the synchronous, okay, although we have orchestrated and putting the choreography by using the different integration patterns, we make it as a like near real times, like the if we are putting the this asynchronous like reliable delivery patterns, okay, so it is more than like the near real times or synchronous. Okay, so if you see the optimized for synchronous real times low volume transaction, these are the few like the keywords for the standards API. We have seen that. Okay, and basically the in the layman we have seen that where the users or the client someone is waiting for the response. Okay, okay, what should be the come? This is the what we have seen the standard API. Okay, but when like suppose if we have to handle the large volume of the data, massive data, okay, like in the thousand or some things, okay, or millions, okay, and suppose like we don't have to wait basically. Okay, suppose we have to like sync the data, okay, from the one system to another systems, okay, and maybe after synchronization our business is going to start. So in that kind of the scenarios, okay, where the performances play a vital role as well, okay, and where the user has not wait like the parallelly, okay, maybe the user is waiting after some time but not the parallelly. So in that scenario if it is coming, we can able to categorize it is the not going to fall under the standard API. It will then we can go for the bulk API. Okay, so if you see like there are some features and the considerations where I have put, okay, like which we can easily able to determine like which API we should go, uh, we should choose in. Okay, so if you have the primary purpose like real time or transactional operation, so we should go for the standards. In the high volume we should go for the bulk API. Okay, if we are going to talk from the record handling perspectives, means the like the volumes, okay, so it is basically good to if you have to low to medium volume. Okay, but if you have the very large volumes, we should go for the bulk API. Okay, we should also think from the response behavior whether you need the immediate or like you can wait for like, okay, so in that like these are the some features on which you can able to decide. Okay, how your API call consumptions. Okay, so if your API is going to consume per request, okay, so go for the standards. Okay, if you require the batch processings, okay, you can go for the bulk one. Okay, on the basis of the orchestration or integration patterns as well. Then your processing orientation, which is synchronous, asynchronous. Okay, also the error handling sometimes happen like the client or customer is aware about like what is happening, whether success or failures. Okay, so that instance requirement is required. Okay, unless like the next action cannot able to process. Okay, so in that error handling scenario, you should also, if it is inline in the API request and response, we should go for the standards. If you are like okay to get it at the post processing, like if suppose few records or single records is going to fail that doesn't affect your business, then we should choose for the bulk API in the. Okay, and what is the best fit for? Okay, like suppose we have seen that this UI actions, UI interactions, mobile triggers, okay, in our daily to daily, like the account management, the banking sector, these all mostly where the standards API are there. Okay, but wherever you need this migration, schedule sync, okay, data load, okay, the data syncs, these kind of things we can able to put into the bulk APIs. So these are the features through which we can able to decide really, okay, whether we should use for the standard or we should use for the bulk. Okay, so these are the standard versus bulk. Now we are going to into the Salesforce bulk API. Okay, so what is the first of all like the bulk API? Okay, so if you see that it is the specialized version of the REST based API design. Okay, where the data is going to basically follow the integration patterns, or you can say this as a asynchronously. Okay, and it is good fit for the large handling of the large number of the records. Okay, so this bulk API is also optimized processing for the more than 50,000 records. Okay, and whenever there is a high volume data migration, synchronization, a kind of the ETL process, you say, like the other tools they are using, so in that scenario we can choose for the bulk API. Okay, and what is the need of this bulk API? Okay, this is the bulk, and what is the need of the bulk API? Okay, so this is basically, it is not where you need to process the things record by records. Okay, whenever you need to process millions of the records, okay, and the users is not waiting, or maybe it can delay for the post processing. So whatever these features, key condition, like key consideration we have discussed, that is the actual requirement why we'll need the bulk API. Okay, and these all things are going to happen like behind the scenes. Okay, not in front of the, because once the job is uploaded into the Salesforce, okay, we are actually don't bother about at that particular time. So yeah, later we should see like what happens, but like for the that time being, okay, we should not think about okay what happened to that. Okay, so these whole things are going to like the as a kind of the asynchronous fire and forget kind of thing, but later we should able to see like what is the actual post processing result. Now if we are talking about this bulk API, so we all know that we have seen that, okay, it has the two version of the bulk API which is available, okay, into with the Salesforce. Okay, one is we call the bulk API v1, which is called the legacy. Okay, second is called the bulk API v2, which is our current. Okay, so there are few features on the basis of why the bulk API is like we can able to think which one is will be your like the perfect fit. So in the, if we are think about the batch management, okay, because what happens like although we are going to send this data to the Salesforce, okay, for the bulk API, okay, internally this bulk is going to happen. So in the legacy model API v1, it was the our responsibility, okay, to create this batch. Okay, so it was the manually, means client should need to handle all this, create job, okay, doing the batch management and closing the jobs, everything. But in the bulk API v2, it is the Salesforce responsibility which is behind the scene. They are going to handle this, all those things. Okay, if you see the job life cycle in the v1, it is the multi steps. Yeah, because everything we are supposed to handle. Okay, like first we are going to create the jobs, then we are going to add the batches, then we are going to close that job, then we are going to check the status and get the result. Okay, but here it is the simplified, like in one connectors, like in sorry in one operations, you are going to create the jobs, okay, add the batch, okay, and the job is going to close. Okay, so they have clubbed entire things into the one. So this is the what is the upgraded version of the API v2s. Okay, and when suppose you have the this multi steps, you can say here like job lifestyle. So what is happening, this multi steps nothing but you are going to call the number of the APIs behind the scenes. okay, because that is the, although the wrapper of this operations is our wrapper, but internally we are calling the Salesforce API. So it is increasing the API call in the terms of the API v1 legacy, but in the bulk API we are going to reduce this three call into the one call. Okay, so in short, we are going to streamline this process. Okay, this data format, you see, it is going to support mostly XML, CSV, JSONs. Here, this bulk API primary, we have used the CSV for the data ingestions. Okay, and the error handling is also like here. Like suppose if the number of steps are involved, definitely our error handling will be going to each and every steps. How do you handle? So you have to like orchestrate your error handling framework as well to handle these all these multi steps. But here we should not worry about, okay, we are just submit that jobs whether it is processed not. So they have exposed like different APIs, okay, and which is going to tell us, okay, how many success, how many fail, what is unprocessed, this kind of things we are going to get. Okay, now coming to next, this is the concurrency. Okay, so here suppose if you are talking about this legacy, so you have the options like either if you have the list data, okay, so you can go for the concurrency as a like serials. If you have the more data, you can go for the concurrency for the parallel, but you have to also consider the number of the batches. Okay, so little bit like the homework is required, or you need to test and trial, okay, how to set this concurrency on your, okay, bulk in the v2 one, it is the optimize, and by default it is the, unless until it is not some configuration has been done, mostly it is going to do the concurrency as a parallelly there. Okay, now the monitoring is, suppose you have created the jobs, you have created the batches, the number of batches you have created, okay, each batch containing the 10,000 records or 5,000 records. Okay, suppose you have created the 10 batches. Okay, so you are supposed to monitor all these 10 batches, because it's 10 batches, although these are the part of the same jobs, but you have to check the status of these 10 batches, what is going to happen in the 10 batches. But here it is the entire job will be considered as a one batch, and you have to just check the status of the one batch or one jobs. Okay, so this is the little bit simplified one. Okay, here if you are doing the some query jobs, okay, so there is a also like suppose here the this pk chunking. Okay, it is the something manually you have to take care. Okay, and by default for the v2, this automatically Salesforce is going to give this the pk chunking if your data is data volume is high. Okay, so we'll see this like how this is going to working. Okay, so this is the difference between like the mostly the features, how we are going to differentiate between like bulk API v1 or v2. Okay, so if you comparatively looking this all these features, what we have noticed, this rationale for the v2, like it is the basically simplify client code and reduce complexity. Okay, reduce the number of API calls and simplify monitoring logic, streamline the job creation data submission process, improve reliability and reduce client side error handling code. Okay, enhance performance and reliability for large data extraction. So this is the how we can able to promote this, why v2 is better or upgraded version of the v1, and what is the rationale behind it. Okay, now we are going to come to our actual agenda, which is the bulk API v2. Okay, so this is the simple kind of the sequence diagram I tried to depict it, okay, how actually it is going to work. Okay, so if you see like the bulk API, it is fire and forget models. Okay, and basically the purpose of to use this, we are shifting the complexity to the platforms. We are not keeping the complexity into our client code. Okay, so all these batches, how to handle this pk chunking, everything is taken care by Salesforce platforms. Okay, we are make our client call like very less. Okay, no like extra something like what orchestration is required. Okay, so simply what we have seen like working into the V2. This is the user, okay, it's sending the create jobs, okay, to the Salesforce. And how Salesforce is going to work here, because like the multiple jobs are running, okay, so they are creating and put into the queue, okay, so they actually create the job and put job into the queue, okay. Now we Salesforce, we have uploaded the data, okay, this what the Salesforce is going move to a state to upload complete, okay. This is the DQ the job, means once the job is upload completed, it is the DQ from queue, okay. And then after that it is change the status to the in progress. it this process going to happen and move the status to the job complete or failed, something like this way how it is going to work behind the scenes, okay. And why this is shift to the V2, so we have already seen like why we have done the comparative study of the V1 and V2. It is the simplicity and developer experience, increase reliability, and definitely like once we are going to reduce the multi steps, it is going to enhance the performance as well, because this error handling multi steps all we are shifting to the uh, mostly to the platforms, okay. So these are the few V2 operations which are there, okay. And so what I have tried to do, I try to map into this is the MuleSoft operations, and this is the Salesforce REST API. So this behind the scenes, our this operations is calling the Salesforce REST API. So we have the create jobs which is going to ingest the data into this Salesforce, okay. Similar we get all jobs, okay, which is the ingest one, okay. Get job state bulk API v2, so this is the whatever we have ingested, that is the job ID we are going to get, and against that we are going to get the state. Similar way we can able to abort the job, we can able to delete the job, okay. Regarding a particular job which we have submitted, so how many success, how many failure that happen, that we can able to get it through the retrieve job successful, which is going to send us the successful one. This is the for failed one, okay. This is for the unprocessed one, okay. So this is the only for the ingestions, okay. The another flavor of that v2 operation is we can also able to execute a query to the bulk v2, okay. Means we can able to send the query and we will wait for, okay. So it is asynchronously they are going to, on the basis of query, Salesforce is going to create one jobs, and it will hold that particular result of the query, okay. And through this job info we can able to check what is the status of that, okay. And through this result we can be able to get that result, okay. Similar way we can abort, delete, okay. We can also see like how many get all query jobs has been there, so that will also see, okay. Okay, so looking into this, what is the secret sauce we have seen into the bulk API v2s, okay. That is one, the client simplicity. And because this everything we are moving to the platforms, okay. And the another thing is server intelligence, means this chunking everything's, okay. These are automatically going to take care by the Salesforce platforms. It also parallel processing, which is like if they create the chunks, they are going to create the parallel processing. And the resource management means internally they are shifting the jobs, putting the queue, doing the DQs, these all things where we are not actually aware about these things, okay, what is happening behind the scenes, okay. And the result, what this, because of the client simplicity and server intelligence, the single API call actually doing the lot many things in the platforms, okay. And which is actually processing the highly this massive amount of the data in very efficient way, okay. So this is the secret sauce we have seen as part of the bulk API v2, okay. And here this if you see this API v2 consideration, so as we have seen this API 2.0, one is for the ingest and one is for the query, okay. So there are few limitations will say, I will say, or the consideration we should think about before using, okay. So if you say like Salesforce create a separate batch for every 10,000 records in your job data up to a daily maximum of this 150 records, Okay, so these are the limitations. Like although behind the scene it is going to work, but whenever we need to go for, we should think like your daily job records should be not max this. And if you have the 10,000 records, so in the V1 where we are the doing the this batch management, now this Salesforce is doing, okay, behind the scenes for the every 10,000 it is going to create. Okay, if suppose in between if the limit is exceeded while processing your job data, the remaining data isn't processed. Okay, so the ingest job is marked as a having failed. Okay, in suppose there is a few things what happened in the batch. If Salesforce can't process all the records in a batch within 5 minutes, the batch fail. Okay, Salesforce automatically retries failed batch up to maximum of 20 times. Okay, if the batch still cannot be processed after 20 retries, the entire ingest job is moved to the failed state and remaining job data isn't processed. Okay, so in that case, like if suppose multiple jobs they have already created, and if after 20 retries the job is not getting processed, okay, so it is going to fail the entire job this, because this job they are considering like one batch for client. Okay, although there are like so many things is going to happen there. Similar way, there is also the some limitation of the if you are using the query for the bulk one. Okay, so you need to make sure that this order by limit, okay, they are not using it. Okay, along with this doesn't support few things like group by offset, type of clause, aggregated functions such as count, date function in group by, okay, parent to child relationships query. Okay, although child to parent relationship queries are supported, but parent to child is not supported. So whenever we are submitting our this query, so we need to think about we are following these guidelines. Otherwise, either this is not going to process there. Okay. Okay. So this is the few summary which will I think we are going to discuss after this our demo. But let's quickly move into the demo. Okay, before going to move demo, like anyone had any questions, feel free to raise. Okay, so it's then we are good to, so good to start demo.
Yes, Rajiv, I think. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so before proceeding, what I have done, I have done one raml, created one raml. Okay, and what this raml is basically going to do, like I just put this like whether yeah, ingested, like so I put the two things here. Okay, either this job is going to ingest, okay, or we have the query related ones. Okay, this is for the query related. So suppose this is the if I'm going to put this get jobs ingest. Okay, so here it is two things. Okay, like we need to pass these things, these details. Okay, so I just try to make it as a very generic one. Okay, so that we can be able to like think from if such type of the requirement is going to come. Okay, so it's not like the we can able to create the like the put this connector each and every API where the bulk API is required. Maybe you can create one system API for the Salesforce, or there you can make it very generic. So if any others is going to use it for your process API or experience API, they can directly call it. So, okay, so in keeping that in concept mind, I created this raml. This is just nothing but I replicated all these operations which is available into the Salesforce connector here into in the raml. Okay, if you see here in the API consoles. So similar way it is going to for the post, it is this one. It is similar to if you go to job ID, against the job ID, if you're going to get this, it is going to give this kind of a result. Okay, so these are the things I have already created as a raml. Okay, and same raml I have implemented here. Okay, So these all ramas are implemented. So we are going to see one by one. Okay. Just feel free to raise your questions. Okay. You can stop me then and there wherever you need to ask anything. Okay. So if you see here, let me show you this create job bulk API v1s. Okay. So I just wanted to show you how this is going to work. Okay. If you see, I am inserting few records into this create job bulk API v1s. Okay. So if you see here, first of all, I need to create the job. Okay. So what is the jobs means I have to use the operations. Okay. Which means that what is the operations I need to insert, update, delete. Okay. What is the type of the object. Okay, so suppose I'm taking the case object. Okay, and the create job request. Okay, so while we are passing this create job request, if you see, this is the how I am like controlling these things. Okay, so you are supposed to tell that I need such type of job where the content type is the JSON. Okay, and the concurrency mode they're going to set as a serial. So along with JSON, it is also support these many content types. Okay, and this concurrency mode either serial or parallel. So you are supposed to send this. Okay, once it is going to set, you are supposed to create the batch. Okay, create the batch. If you see here where jobs info, so this is nothing but I store this output. I store this output into job info. Okay, and this job info is required to place your object. Okay, means like how many this is for the job batch. Okay, because this batch is going to associated with these jobs, so we are doing the linking. Okay, and this is the how many this Salesforce object max depth. Okay, so maximum number of the object depth. So this is up to like 2 3 5 you can be able to send this here. Okay, so here like see we have created this jobs. Okay, so here like suppose I have the a small amount, so I created the one jobs. Okay, but it is also like how many jobs you are going to create. So in that case you need to uh, retrieve these kind of things to pick the 10,000 records, put it into one job, this kind of things. And then once the thing is going to happen, I'm going to closing that jobs. Okay, so this is the how this model is working into v1 models. Okay, if you see the simplest this v2 model is okay. So just I have created for different use cases. Okay, but I will show you like what is the actual things we need to do. So I'm just reading the files here. I file kept into this if you see, these are the file I have kept here. Okay, and if you say like see take this insert one. Okay, so in the insert one, if you see, we just need to pass these informations. Okay, but if you see here, we are not passing any informations which is related with the batch. Okay, so it's only talking about what are the required things, which means that the explicit requirement, what is your object. So I selected case. Okay, and what is your data. Okay, so here it is selecting as a CSV. Okay, so that I'm passing here. What is the operation? So I put insert. This is the line ending, means it is either LF or CRLF. So that is two things. This column delimiters means if you are the CSV, you're either pipe delimiter or comma, so whatever the delimiters. Okay, and these are the few assignment rule ID and the external ID fields. Okay, so this external ID field is only required whenever we need to use the upsert operations. Okay, so in the case of the upsert we have used, in the case of the insert or this is not required. Okay, assignment rule ID, honestly speaking, I haven't explored, I haven't know the what is the purpose of this, I haven't used it, but we'll see this like how this is going to work. Okay, so if you see, this is the simple one we have did. Okay, just one activities. Okay, one operations, and which is going to create the jobs and bulk API. Okay, that's it. Okay, so let me see, like although both V1 and V2 both will be going to work similar way. Okay, so if you see here, so this already started. Okay, if I'm going to my insomnia, okay, and this is the post jobs. Okay, so suppose what I'm telling them, okay, this is the case object I'm passing. Okay, operation is insert, content type I'm saying the CSV, line ending CRLFS, this column delimiter is comma. So that I'm passing. Okay, and to make it as a V1 or V2, I have given this header as a called the V1. Okay, so if I'm going to say the V1, it is going for the bulk API V1. If V2, then so where I have defined these things, if you see here, this is the why, like I have, so this is where, like in this our API, I have just put like the API V1 and V2, these kind of things. Okay, so let me try it out and see how this is going to work. Meanwhile, let me show you this Salesforce. Okay, so if you see this into the Salesforce, okay, so if you search for the bulk data load jobs, okay, so these are the place where the all the bulk jobs which you have created, that is going to sit here, and it is going to give you, okay, whether it is the bulk type is V1, V2, what happened, like inserted, updated, deleted, what happened going to. Okay, so these all things will be going to see here. Okay, how this is going to land. So suppose if I am running this, firstly this V1. Okay, not this one. Okay, so let's see how this is going to work. So see, this job has been created here. You see here, this job has been created here, and if you see, more or less it is giving the same things. Okay, see the concurrency mode I have set as a serials. Okay, and if you see the number of batches felt 0. Okay, this is the created date. Okay, this is operation is insert, object is case, number of batch has completed 0, and numbers of record fields 0. Okay, the state is closed. Okay, means because everything I am doing the manually, this is closed. Okay, so if you go here and see this into the Salesforce, let me reload it. So if you see, this is the case today date. If you see here, this case status is closed, and here if you see this details about this bulk data load job, and this is the V1 one. Okay, if you see, the job type is V1, operation which I have chosen is insert. Okay, and this completed batch 1. So all the details here, the record process is 20. Okay, record process is 20, so that if you see this view results, so these are the, if you are able to see, these are the ID, which is nothing but the case ID which has been created. Okay, so before going to that, I wanted to see what are the some, so these are the case records I have kept. Okay, so I have taken the 20 records, and which I wanted to show this. Okay, so these case we will see this has been created over there. Okay, so each case which has been created, okay, if you see in the result, it is going to show us the success is true, created means true if a particular record has been inserted. Okay, so in that case, created, it is going true. If suppose that is updated or something happened, so in that case, created will be false. So it is going to return me the case ID. All these are the ID for that particular records. Okay, so let's see into here, and this is the view request. We can able to see the request as well. Okay, so if you go to the, where is the my data view, okay, let's see the, data weave. So here we can able to see request and response. Okay, so let me see what all the request went there. So these are the all the request which has been read. Okay, and these are the response which has been received. So everything's, and if there is any error, we are going to get it. Okay, so this one. Okay, so let me go to the case one. Okay, I will see like for the today's date and time we can able to see few cases. Yeah, so if you see like the 4 minutes ago, sorry, yeah, so this is 4 minutes ago, this is the same case we have created here, and this has been inserted here. Okay, if you see these all 20 case has been created here. If you see this tracking number mismatch, this is nothing but our this last record. See this tracking number mismatch, this is the same things which has been created here. Now where it is gone. Okay, so this v1 has been inserted. So the purpose of the v1, I wanted to show like how we can able to simulate this v1, like, and this through which we can able to rest. I think we are going to see through the v2. Okay, so let me reinsert the same things with the v2. Okay, so we'll see there. Okay, so what I will going to do, I will just remove this headers. Okay, and let me see, send this, insert and set this. So see their response and this response is little bit, if you see this is the little less compared to that. Okay, but here it is the job status was closed, but here you can see upload completed, means whatever, and by default it has taken the concurrency mode as a parallel, which is the v2s. Okay, and here you can see this is the state is upload completed, means which has not processed. Job type is v2 ingest. Okay, which is not processed. Okay, so how we can able to see, either we can able to go to Salesforce. Okay, but in the Salesforce we don't have like suppose the access, so how we can able to see, because this is not telling the exact cause what happened to this. Okay, whether it has been failed or processed or something, because in the upload complete status the number of records faced, the number of record process, we are seeing that 0, but we need to know that what is the status of that particular jobs. Okay, so let me copy it somewhere. Okay, and so how we can able to know the status of these jobs. Okay, so in the bulk API v2, okay, we have this check job state bulk API v2. Okay, so this is going to tell the status of that, and what we need to pass on this, we need to only pass this job ID. Okay, because so now we are not going to see looking into the Salesforce org, because things like we don't have the access about that. Okay, so now we are going to see through our the operations. So let me go here and use my another endpoint, which is the get jobs in just job ID. I'm going to send this. Okay, let me header. Yeah, fine. Body. Okay, so no body, I'm going to against this job ID. I wanted to see the what happened to this. So if you see here, okay, the number of record process is 20. Okay, which means that all the records which have we ingested, that has been processed, and if you see the status has been job complete. Okay, so let it verify looking into this Salesforce org. So this was the 1142. Not here, right? It was the something, maybe this some different timing it is showing, but let's see, it should be after that only. Yeah, so it is the 1147. So if you see, the same all 20 records has been inserted here. See, all 20 records has been inserted. Okay, so through which we can able to, okay, now we have the uh, another operations. Okay, so this is the how we can able to get the status. Okay, now if we can able to fetch failed records. Okay, so we have the another operations where we have to just pass this endpoint, and we are just the job id, and this is going to bring the retrieve job failed results. Okay, similar way for the successful. Okay, similar way for the unprocessed. Okay, so in our case I think we only applicable for the number of record process, which is 20. Okay, so let's use this id. Okay, and I'm using my this successful, and let's see what the all things we are going to get it from here. Okay, so if you see, while using this fetching the all the successful results, okay, we are going to get nothing but the exact request, which is whatever we have sent it. Okay, along with it is also sending like created true and id false. Okay, so if you see this like invoice download not working. Okay, if you go to the invoice download not working, which is the first one, this one. Okay, let me open this. Let's take this id, the first one. Okay, and see this. So this is the id which is returning here. Okay, which means that once the case has been created, it is returning nothing but the case id. We used to also sometimes say the case id, but actual field which is the going to like depict is the id. Okay, so along with this data whatever we have inserted, it is also returning the id along with the status created true, created false, these kind of things. So it's return all these 20s. Okay, so through this, by using this, so these are the dedicated operations. If you see, these are the availables, which is the retrieve job fair, retrieve job success, and process. Just you need to pass this the id, job id. Okay, so that is the beauty of this bulk api v2. Okay, so let me also use another things. Maybe if you see this create job bulk api v2. Okay, so there is also concept of the upsert. Okay, so if you are going to upsert, so this is mostly in the business or enterprise we have using it. Okay, like upsert, which means either update or insert. Okay, so we need to pass this one of the case numbers. Okay, means the against the case numbers. Okay, what happened, this is the I have ideally either in the custom object you can able to define your own like the external id field. Since I have chosen the inbuilt objects. Okay, so for the case object, these two things is only available if you see either case number or id. Okay, id means the case id. Okay, through which the insert or update going to happens. Okay, but think from that scenario, whenever the file is coming. Okay, this id or case is, that is something Salesforce generated. Okay, like the third party is not aware about, okay, what is this case number, what is this id. Okay, because this is the Salesforce is going to generate. Okay, so in the custom, like the normally into the enterprise, whatever data is going to come by using the two or three fields, we make the unique one. Okay, since I have taken this external field as a case number, so what I did to in order to present this demo, suppose I have taken the one few cases. Okay, which has been already inserted but their case number is different. Okay, so I have taken this case numbers. Okay, so through this case number what I am doing, I am just let's see this case numbers, one of. Okay. Mm, Okay, so this is the case number. If you see, their status are new. Okay, their status are new. Okay, what I have done, like there are few cases for which I have just taken, and these cases I am just updating their status as a working. So all the cases which are new, I am just putting as a working. Okay, just working. So these all will be updated. Okay, and let's see how I'm going to do this to updating it case. Okay, so let me do it. So this is the upsert and case number is there. So what I will do through insomnia. Okay, this I have already taken here, this line ID. Okay, so I'm going to again this post jobs in just here. I'm going to give this upset. Okay, and since this external I don't need to pass because I have already selected as a case number, so that is going to consider, and let me send this. So if you see here, this has been also processed. Okay, so let's take, this is the second one. Okay, and here the same parallels. Okay, but their job ID is different. Again here upload complete. Okay, now I'm going to get this uh, job ID. Okay, here you can see number of record process is 20. Okay, so number of records, it has been processed 20 because all has been updated. And let's take the ID, the successful result. Okay, and here if you're going to get this, so if you see their status has been already changed, whatever I have sent like working, these all are the change here. Okay, but if you see here, here the created, it's not true because these already exist and it has been not created. Okay, means this has been updated. If created false means this has updated. Okay, not created. Okay, so this is the how we can be able to create or update. If any errors are coming, okay, similar way, so what we can able to, through this job ID, just you send it, you can able to get this error. And if suppose any internal process this failed result. Okay, like suppose this one I have earlier like tested. So if suppose this is the, okay, maybe, okay, fine. So there was, I think earlier one ID was there, so through which I have fetch. Okay, so these kind of the errors were there. Maybe let me copy this and let me try this some job ID again, it's exist or not. Yeah, so same, this is the previous job ID during the while I was doing this demo. So some few like failed. Okay, so if you see this, let me check this through that. Okay, get job ingest. Okay, so if you see this job ID, if you send this, yeah, so this job ID still exists when I tested earlier. So suppose if you see this job ID, against that job ID status is number of record failed 7, number of record process 7, and number of records failed 7. Okay, and job is completed. So when it is failed, you can able to go here. Okay, and against this job ID you can able to get this. Okay, what was the reason of failure? Okay, so if you see, this is the reason of the failure because something like missing argument, case number not specified. So maybe like you are trying to insert or something update where the external ID or maybe the key field is missing. So in that case, that's why it is able to like undefine the ID. So in that case, it is the case ID. Like error, you can be able to get it. So unprocessed, I think the something which is happened like after the batch retry, maybe that is also marked as a failed, but something like system issue or some another issue like through which the batch was unprocessed. Okay, so in that case, but we haven't seen like this kind of things ever. Okay, similar way, if you suppose you want to delete any jobs, you want to abort any jobs, you can be able to abort. Like suppose uh, let's take this failed one. Okay, and if I'm going to see, if you are going to abort means, okay, so if you are like suppose if any job is running, see job has completed, that is fine. if suppose any job is running which taking so long time from the Salesforce side, or it was supposed to complete within 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but still it is like sometimes happen like whenever you are going to face the status of the job, you are going to get the like in progress, okay, job like in progress. So in that case, if you want to abort that, you can able to abort. So just pass this job ID, okay, and in my I have implemented as a aborted, so it is going to abort. So suppose this failed one which was there earlier, maybe we can take that example, which is patch one. So if you send this, so we are going to miss it is aborted. Maybe we are going to get the error, yeah, because the job is already completed. Okay, so see, this is throwing the error, and this is the error, what, invalid status code 400 response, invalid state, job state, means that job is already completed, so we cannot abort it. When the job is running in progress, we can able to this, see, all aborted already completed jobs not allowed. Okay, so in progress is allowed. Okay, and this is the delete when you want to like delete that particular jobs, see, so you can able to delete it. So in that case, we are not going to get as a any response, it is deleted, and we are going to do not for here. Okay, so whether it is deleted or not, if you go and just check here na status of these jobs, so it will throw the error again. Okay, so here I think I haven't done the proper error handling, but in the enterprise level we are supposed to do say the enterprise, because see, I deleted, and after deletion I am checking the status of this. So see, the requested resource doesn't exist. Okay, which means it is the job has been deleted. Okay, already. Okay, along with that, if you see here in the uh, create job bulk v2, if you see here operations, let me close this. Okay, so these are the few operations we can able to perform. Either you can do the insert, upsert, update, you can do the delete. This delete is means the soft delete, means that your records is moving from to the recycle bin. Okay, and it is going to persist till as per the configuration policy. But once you are doing to a hard delete, means you are not able to like recall it. It is going to move from the recycle bin to the permanently delete. So that we have options, you can be able to do that as well. Okay, and so these are the all related with this bulk API v2 for the ingestion. Okay, if related to ingestion any queries, feel free to raise. Otherwise we are good to move for the create query one. Okay, so apart from this ingestion, if you go to the query one, okay, so we have the also like flexibility here. Like suppose I don't need the response right time. Okay, suppose I need a large result of the query, and I need it the asynchronously. Okay, so what we can able to do, we can able to post the query. Okay, in the background the Salesforce is going to execute our query, and it is going to give us the result. Okay, so there is a operations call which is there like the create query jobs, where it is the expecting like the, you can say, the payload query operations. Okay, and the column delimiters. Okay, and the line ending. Okay, so that we are supposed to send it. Okay, and it is going to get the query. So suppose here I am sending select ID, case number, subject, status, priority, origin, owner ID created from case where priority in high, critical, and status is not closed. Okay, so this is the query I am sending to get it. Okay, so if you send this, so here you can say this query has been done. Okay, now we have submitted the query, and if you see the concurrency mode parallels, okay, this is the ID. Status means upload completed, which means our query has been submitted, which is in queue. Okay, and now it will start the processing. So if you see, everything is happening here the like asynchronously. Okay, So now take this ID and go to get jobs query ID. Okay, get jobs query ID, fetch all query, not query info. Okay, if you see this query info, so we need to only pass the job ID. Okay, what is the uh, result of this query? So let me pass this query and let's see here. So see the here what is happening. The status is this is state is job complete. Okay, so this is job completed happened, and here you can see the PK chunking supported false. Okay, total processing time 160, job type B2 query, operation type query. So these are the details which are coming, and it is the query over case. Okay, so now my job has been completed. Okay, now take this. Okay, I need the query result now. Okay, so if you go to the query result, here you can see there is on operations. You need to just pass this job ID, and let's see. So here I'm go to the query result. Okay, I'm passing this ID, and let's see. So here you can see we can able to get this result. Okay, Ki whatever the case I have requested this query, on the basis of that we are going to get this records. Okay, so this is the how this ingestion and retrieval both, like through this bulk API we are able to uh, uh, getting it. Okay, so whatever like we have seen that delete abort. Okay, means we are going to this delete and abort. This is the same things which is going to happen with the query. Like suppose any particular query which is running a quite long time, so and it's taking the much resource, so you can be able to abort. Okay, or if any things like the data set has been already there, okay, job is already there, so after aborting you can be able to delete that. Because although Salesforce has also the batch something which is, I think, automatically cleanup is going to happen with a certain, I think, configuration interval. I'm not exactly remember, but that is going to happen. If you see this again, this, so all the bulk things which we are doing, everything is has been getting re-recorded here. See our bulk v2 query. See job completed, job completed. If you see here, these all the queries which is coming here. So here see, this is the view request which we have received. Okay, this is the response which they have processed, this 160. Okay, completed batch 2. So this, see, the batch is everything is going to handle like from here. Okay, apart from that, ingestion happened, fetch happened, this delete, create, everything is going to like delete, and abort is going to happen like similar way. Okay, and okay, one thing, like suppose a few things which you need to delete. Okay, sometimes happens like you need to delete the records. Okay, so suppose either you can execute the delete query and think from that perspective. Suppose you have the case numbers, okay, or some things, and you are asking, okay, on the basis of this case number we have to delete some things. Okay, so delete is only going to work in the bulk v2. So you need to send only the external ID. Okay, you mean to say the unique ID through which we are going to. Okay, so if you go to the ingest, and this is the current. Okay, and if you go to the delete, okay, so similar way, everything we need to send it. Okay, just in the payload part we need to send the unique ID on the basis of which it is going to uniquely identify. So if you see here, this Salesforce request, I have only mapped the item ID. So what I did, in order to save this time hour, so I have taken this ID. Okay, so all the few cases, and this ID I'm going to pass it to see whether this case has been deleted or not. Okay, so if you see here, I'm going to take one ID to just we will verify this. So if I see this, so suppose this case ID exists. Okay, like this case is exist. Okay, so let me try it out. Hope should work. Because I haven't tested this delete one, but it should work. So let me delete it. Okay, headers I will see this. Okay, this is the body. Now let me send this. Okay, hope it is the delete. Yeah, sending it. Yeah, so this we are going to see like upload completed. Okay, now again the same status. We will take this. Okay, get job injustice. We should go for this. Send this. Okay, so here you can see the upload completed. Okay, go to this. Okay, sorry. And here the number of records processed 22. If you see here, like, so whatever that's all the IDs were there, that has been processed. Okay, so now I'm going to see the success, and here you will see what happened. So see, this has been, these are, so in that case, if you see, it is not sending the whatever the other details. So whatever the request we have sending as a IDs, this has been sending, and created definitely false means it has not created. Okay, so these all it has been saying that it is deleted. Okay, and if you go here and let's see this, refresh these things, let's see whether it is exist or not. So see, look like there is a problem, means this case has been deleted here, from here. So I think this much pretty from this demo perspective. Okay, if I'm coming to the back to my summary, so what the summary key take we have taken, like the, because the simplicity and reliability of this v2 is like it's completely eliminating the client side all this complexity, like the batching. Okay, or what is the chunking, these all things it is removing. Okay, and it is making the, through which we can able to, like in the MuleSoft we can make our the more robust, more like the reusable flows. Okay, and definitely because of this fire and forget model to handling the large data volumes, it's making as a very efficient and performant. Okay, and the MuleSoft abstractions means we are actually through these operations we are actually what you can say, we are mapping this all this complexity into the Salesforce one through this our the operations. Okay, so create, if you are think about the one operations called the create job bulk API v2 operations. Okay, so it's doing behind the scenes so many things, but that all things are abstract by our one operation into the mules. Okay, so it is making as a clean single components and doing the multiple things. If you see the compared to the v1s where we have to maintain each and every things, this is the responsibility of the client as well. Okay, and this is the what is the whenever you need to go to the bulk API, so it's not like this for the simple or like the suppose 2000 or 5000 records you can able to take the bulk API v2, because bulk API v2 whenever you are using, you are need to make sure that you are going to utilize it's properly. So for the less volume if you are going to use, so it is going to create the same performance, same resources. So whenever there is a nature of the growing that data or the data is huge, it is good to use for the bulk approach. Okay, so I think this demo we have completed. Now this floor is open for the Q&A. If anyone has anything, okay, feel free to raise. I think that's it from my side. Hope I can able to explain it.
Yes, Rajiv. Yeah. Thank you for this session. Yeah.
So I think, like, if
There,
possible.
there were there were some questions, so we tried to answer. Even Rahul answered some, but if still anyone has any doubt, right, you can
Right,
speak up and you can ask now.
right, right. Okay, instead of the polling, I want to get a signal when SF complete the job. Can this be done and how? Yes, this you can able to automate think from that scenario. What happens on the basis of your data volume natures? Okay, what you can able to do in the same flow, like where you are creating these jobs. Okay, let me depict. Okay, here in the same flow you can check your put the get job status. Okay, and you need to check the status for the job complete. If not job complete, then you send the custom by error handling custom, and you check the two times to three times at the interval of the what you can say like the 30 seconds or 40 seconds. Okay, so in the same flow at this three times once you are going to do this checking, you can be able to get this job status. So you need to like orchestrate things. Okay, so you can throw the custom error like similar kind of thing like the job is still in progress, and when like the this try and on error continue. So by using this try and on error continue, you can able to achieve this. This is the how we have done like when this implementation is going to happen. So you can able to do this that well. So hope you can able to get it, Vivek. Instead of the polling, well, that is the what I mean to say polling. But can't SF call MuleSoft API to signals? That is totally on the basis of your choreography or your orchestrations, maybe how you can able to agree, because sometimes happen that maybe you can poll some things to a queue, and where you can say like the Salesforce can able to put the message like when the request has been completed, job is completed, they can trigger their flow, they can trigger their Apex classes, and they can able to send your notification. That is also possible, but that needs the mutual agreement between you and the Salesforce, like MuleSoft and this. That is also possible.
So it was a great session, Rajiv. We tried to answer most of the queries
Mm.
which we asked in Q&A. So I think if anything is missed, you can ask again. But yeah, overall, it was a good session.
I think Vivek is asking, and it is possible to get query response in compressed format. I think query response in mean to say normally we used to get like whenever is there any error, we should not ever poll like whenever the all the records got success. Query bulk job response. Okay, query bulk just response in the compressed one. I don't think that is I have anywhere explored that is into the compressed, but I need to check it out. I haven't seen like that is. I know I think I show into JSON, but it is also support the CSV that we have used it. But in compress, I haven't explored. Maybe we'll try to explore and get back to you, Vivek. Yeah, yeah. I think that was it from my side. I think yeah. Thanks, Vivek. Thank you. Then I think if no further question, then we are good to close this. Let me stop this recording. Stop sharing and stop. Like it is possible, like someone can turn camera, so we can take our this our first MuleSoft meetup. This screenshot.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey Manisha. Hey, thanks for.
Hey,
Hi,
hello. Hi,
Manisa.
hi, Rajiv. Hello, everyone. It was very good session, Raju, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, let me take a snapshot, Rajiv, or you can take as well.
Yeah, yeah. You can take Nathan.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, YouTube channel name to access this recording. I think that may be on our LinkedIn post. We can be able to share.
And it will come on Meetup link
Yeah,
as well
I think
later.
this will be on the same page. Yeah,
Yeah.
where is meetup? Yeah, same page.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you, Rajiv.
everyone.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone. Yeah,
yeah.
for joining. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Ravi.
everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.